A German politician and leader of the Nazi Party, he rose to power as Chancellor of Germany in 1933 and later Führer in 1934. During his dictatorship from 1933 to 1945, he initiated World War II in Europe by invading Poland in September 1939. He was closely involved in military operations throughout the war and was central to the perpetration of the Holocaust. Hitler was born in Austria, then part of Austria-Hungary, and was raised near Linz. He moved to Germany in 1913 and was decorated during his service in the German army in World War I. In 1919, he joined the German Workers' Party, DAP, the precursor of the NSDAP, and was appointed leader of the NSDAP in 1921. In 1923, he attempted to seize power in a failed coup in Munich and was imprisoned. In jail, he dictated the first volume of his autobiography and political manifesto Mein Kampf. In 1924, Hitler gained popular support by attacking the Treaty of Versailles and promoting Pan-Germanism, anti-semitism, and anti-communism with charismatic oratory and Nazi propaganda. He frequently denounced international capitalism and communism as part of a Jewish conspiracy. November 1932, the Nazi Party had the most seats in the German Reichstag, but did not have a majority. Former Chancellor Franz von Papen and other conservative leaders persuaded President Paul von Hindenburg to appoint Hitler as Chancellor on 30th January 1933. Shortly after the Reichstag passed the Enabling Act of 1933, which began the process of transforming the Weimar Republic into Nazi Germany, a one-party dictatorship based on the totalitarianism and autocratic ideology of National Socialism. Hitler aimed to eliminate Jews from Germany and establish a new order to counter what he saw as the injustice of post-World War I international order dominated by Britain and France. The first 6 years in power resulted in rapid economic recovery from the Great Depression, the abrogation of restrictions imposed on Germany after World War I, and the annexation of territories inhabited by millions of ethnic Germans, which gave him significant popular support. Hitler sought a living space for the German people in Eastern Europe, and his aggressive foreign policy is considered the primary cause of World War II in Europe. Invaded Poland resulted in Britain and France declaring war on Germany. While Hitler was gaining power, he caught the interest of one of the seven devils, Wrath, Mephistopheles, who, while he was alive, was Themistocles, and in hell became Mephisto, the most democratic devil, who argued that all souls in hell had rights and was responsible for the election of a president in hell. Well, he became one of the seven devils, Wrath, Mephistopheles, Mephisto, and he went to Adolf Hitler started submitting his military into demonic possession. Of Nazi soldiers would suffer many bullet wounds, but then would lift themselves off the field with their eyes glowing red. Mephisto saw that only beings that could possibly defeat his rulership of the earth as the Jews, or God's chosen rulers. Sometimes Adolf Hitler would gain control of his body and, believing he was possessed by Mephisto, would make terrible blundering errors, the most notable of which was his suicide. With the love of his life, he married his longtime lover, Eva Braun. Less than 2 days later, on the 30th of April 1945, the two committed suicide after the Germans and the Soviet Union became allies. The real threat was clear: Japan. But since Japan always had an army of Shinigami, it seemed like victory would be impossible against them as the clear rulers of the world. But then the science gave way and the atomic bomb was discovered, the creators saying, "Now I have become death, the destroyer of worlds."